Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our CMA workshop. Happy Tuesday to everyone. My name is Robert with Elite Ocean View Realty, and we have a very interesting course today. It's a course for you, the realtor, to learn how to evaluate properties using most of the tools and resources that are available to us with our MLS membership. Guys, before we begin, I want to remind you that we are recording our session, and you can always find all of our recordings inside of our YouTube channel. If you look inside the chat right now, I'm going to share the YouTube link so you guys can watch a lot of our recordings, whether you want to learn how to use the MLS or you want to learn how to work with a renter, a buyer, a seller. You want to learn more about prospecting or using a CRM. All these classes and much more can be found inside the YouTube channel. You'll see it right here, and this is the entire playlist. All right, guys, so looking in your chat, save the YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We upload content pretty much every single week. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Of course, this is the CMA workshop. We are going to go over many different ways that we evaluate properties, and we come up with their market value using the tools and resources available to us as members of the Miami Association of Realtors. So, of course, we are going to get started inside of MiamiRealtors.com. If you guys are brand new realtors, you need MLS membership. All right, that's the first thing you need. You need MLS membership. Once you have membership, then you can join in on the MLS. We are going to access our resource panel. Of course, you do that by selecting the Miami Gateway and logging in. That's going to get you into your resource panel, which is this right here. We are going to use a variety of tools. We're going to use the MLS. Of course, you know, that's where all the properties are located that are for sale and for rent. We're also going to use public records programs like RPR and IMAP. Public records has every single sale, every single transaction that happens in all of Florida, as opposed to the MLS, where you only see transactions that happen inside the MLS by a realtor. So if you're trying to evaluate properties, the best bet is actually to use a public record system. So like that, you pick up on every single sale by owner, sales that were done off the MLS, and of course, those including the MLS. All right, so CoreLogic Matrix is your MLS. We are going to open that. We're going to use the MLS. We're also going to use IMAP. IMAP is right next to CoreLogic. Also, when you are inside of Matrix, IMAP is located right up here. And that gets you into the IMAP public record system, which is this program right here. And then going back to our resource panel, we're also going to use a nationwide public record system called RPR, which is Realtors Property Resource. And inside of RPR, you get to build that nice listing presentation or a buyer presentation. You get to study more in-depth market statistics. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into the action by logging into CoreLogic Matrix. Now, what I've done is I've already searched for a property that's listed on the MLS that I want to run some comps for. I'm going to show you simple ways to evaluate a property and see if the price is correct. And then, of course, we can also use properties that are not currently on the market. You know, the reason why you would do properties that are not on the market is that if you are preparing a listing presentation, right, the property is not on the market, then you need to learn how to evaluate a property that's not on the MLS. But right now, let's pretend that we have buyers. And our buyers interested in purchasing this house. This is a house here in Coral Gables, zip code 33134. It's for sale at $1,237,000. All right. Of course, the first thing you're going to want to do is take a look at the house, maybe even visit the house with your buyer. Once your buyer decides they want to purchase a house, this is the conditions of the home that we're looking at right now. Okay. So this is for sale at $1,237,000. So it's not in bad conditions. It's not fully updated, you know, to the modern standards, but it's not bad. You know, it's not torn up. All right. So that's our house. This is a 1,390 square foot living area. All right, so let's pay attention always to the living area. That's all livable space. When you look at adjusted area or total area, that's going to also include garage spaces and patio, you know, outdoor patio spaces. And we're not going to include that when we're doing our valuations. We only use living square footage or square footage living area. And then the lot size is 5,000 square feet. So three things when you're looking at comps. You need to make sure that your comps are similar to your subject property. And the way you do that is by size, by distance, and then also the time that it's sold. So usually you want to go back between 3 and 6 months. Anything over 6 months may require an adjustment. Okay. So here we're looking at the property, and this property's been on the market now 127 days. So it's been on the market for more than 4 months. All right, just a little bit over 4 months. So you got to keep that in mind when you have a buyer who wants to purchase the property. They're asking 1,237,000, and this property's been on the market now for 4 months. All right. Now we're going to copy the address of the property, which is 328 Alessio Avenue. Also, there is the CMA button at the bottom, but I'm going to show you one way to get comps really fast without having to click on CMA. So you want to copy this property address, and it's 328 Alessio Avenue. Now we're going to go ahead and run a search. So this is, by the way, a 3-bedroom and 2-bathroom home. So you want to come here and you want to do RE1, RE2, which is your single family home or condos. You want to select active and you want to select closed sale, and it automatically defaults to 6 months, 180 days. Now you want to use right underneath the map search, the radius search, and you want to stay within a half a mile of 328 Alessio Avenue. So you want to go ahead and put it in here, 328 Alessio Avenue. It's going to tell you, did you mean? And yes, we meant 328 Alessio Avenue. So we're going to select it. All right. Keep in mind, guys, if you don't see in red, map area selected, you have not finished. You have not selected the property. All right. By me selecting the property, it does say the map area has been selected. Now I am, I've already focused in on that subject property. The next step is to ask for single family homes, right? We want to make sure that we are looking at single family homes. Look what happened, guys. We went from 73 matches when I selected single family home down to only 23 matches. So we did have a lot of condos and townhouses in the area, right? So now we also want to stay within the Coral Gables city limits. Very, very important. If you are looking at a property that probably borders another city, then you want to make sure you stay on the right side of the city. So for city, we're going to go ahead and put in Coral Gables and see if anything changes. So yes, we did remove 2 more comps. Now we're looking at 21 comps. Okay. The next step is to look at bedrooms and bathrooms. So our subject property is a 3-2. So bedrooms, we're going to put in 3. And now we're down to 10 matches. You see, we've gone from 23 matches already down to 10. For bathrooms, we're going to put 2. Now we're looking at 9 results. All right. So very simple. Now the square foot living area, I believe it was somewhere around 1,350. So normally what we want to do is a 20% difference in size. All right. So we're going to go ahead and just run a comp where the minimum square footage for our comps are going to be 1,000 square feet, and the max square foot, not 7,000, sorry, 1,700. The max is going to be 1,700. So we're down to 5 matches. The reason we do this, guys, is so we don't have to make adjustments. If I put in all these numbers and I get 0 results, then I have to find other properties and then make adjustments. Here, we don't have to make adjustments. We're just going to go ahead and click on results, and let's take a look at our results. So guys, we have 1 sale in the last 6 months, and we have 4 active listings. All right. One of them is the actual subject property. So right here, 328 Alessio Avenue is the subject property, and we only have 1 sale. These are 4 pretty much identical homes, right? I'm going to go back to criteria, and I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more when it comes to results by doing one thing. I'm going to go 3+ bedrooms, and I'm going to go 2+ bathrooms, and I still have only 5 results. All right. So what would be my next adjustment? Do I go out 1 mile or do I stretch it to 1 year? Any opinions, guys? All right. There's plenty
I'll
of
say 1 mile.
1 mile. I'd say we go out 1 mile. Yes. So let's go out 1 mile, and we now increased our matches to 9. All right. The reason you don't want to go back a year is because a lot has changed in a year, right? So you want to go back you want to go out 1 mile. So there you go. We have 4 sales. We have 1,050,000. And again, keep in mind, we stay in Coral Gables, right? We're staying in Coral Gables. We have 1,050,000, 1,185,000, 1,075,000, and then 1.4. If you want to take a look at the map, you click on map right up here. And right there, it's going to show you where each property is located. Now, for example, if you think these two properties are out of the way, right? They're like a little too far out, then don't use those two. All right. And the way that you can do this is by selecting the property like this. Oh, no, you don't want to select it like that. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Actually, that's not a property. That's just a metro rail station. So you see this one here? Just select it. And then go over here to the bottom. And you want to click on refine. And you want to click on discard. So discard the little trash can. That's delete. All right. So now you're looking at the comps you want to use, which are pretty much all of these right here. Okay. Go back to results. And here we have our results. All right. So there is 4 sales. All right. And then there are, so if we have 8 results, there are 4 sales and 4 actives. Okay. We're going to go ahead and select them all. Now, the last comp here is for sale at 2,190,000. That may be way different. So you want to take a quick look at it and see if there's anything strikingly different in the home from the subject property, besides the fact that they took pictures of their dog everywhere. All right, the house has a pool. Maybe this is not a comparable. All right, so maybe this is not a comparable. So what we're going to do is go back to the agent single line, and we are not going to include that one. All right, we're not going to include that one. And now if you just want to stay with the ones you checked, right, you go to refine and then you go to narrow. Narrow will eliminate what you didn't check, right? You're going to narrow the results. So now we're looking at the correct results. So I mentioned that we're going to do different style CMAs. The first one is going to be the easiest one, which is you go to actions and then go to print. The second one I'm going to show you will actually be the CMA, which is here. So go to print. And there are 2 reports you want to check. You want to check the CMA one-line summary report. You also want to check the 3-up comparison. All right, so by checking these 2, you're going to get your CMA report. You're going to click on print to PDF, and here is your simplified CMA through the MLS. Okay, now you have 3 active listings. One of them is the subject property. You have 1.1 who's been on the market now for 13 days. You have the subject property, which has been on the market now for 127 days. And then you have a property here that's on the market for only 25 days, listed at 1,775,000. The average, which is this line right here, the average says that the average of the 3 listings are at 1,370,000. So it's actually listed below the average, right? It's actually listed below the average. And then if you look at the sold prices, you have 1,050,000, 1,075,000, 1,185,000, 1,004,000. The average is 1,177,000. So it is actually listed slightly above the average price. All right, properties here are selling at an average of $792 a square foot. Okay, so you guys remember back to your real estate exams and your real estate course, how you actually evaluate the property? You're going to go ahead and grab that $798 a square foot, multiply that times the size of the home. So I don't, well, actually I have it here. So the size of the home is, Alessio, 1,390. So you pick up the calculator and then you do 1,390 times 798, and you're looking at 1,109,000, and that's based on the average. So the listing, you know, a little bit higher than the average, right? About $120,000 higher than the average. And that's fair. That's normal. All right. So fact is, though, that they've been on the market now for 4 months. So they may accept an offer of 1.1. Okay. This is your CMA, and it has your side-by-side comparisons. Now, if the property were in pristine conditions, the highest price per square foot of my comps actually is $952 a square foot, right? So if the property were in pristine conditions, then you want to use 952, multiply that times 1390, and now you have your absolute highest possible value for the home. So what is that? So 1390 times 952. You're looking at 1,323,000. All right. If you look at the highest, all right, average is 1,368,000. Okay, so you are definitely closer to $1.3 million or a little higher if the property were in pristine conditions. It's not. We saw it, right? There's nothing wrong with the property, but again, it's not fully renovated like you probably expect when you want to pay top dollar for a home. Okay. This is your simple or simplified CMA through Matrix, guys. It's not a huge report. This is something if I need to run some valuations and I need to give it to my client, this is normally what I would run. Now, if you need a presentation, right, we're going to go back to Matrix. If you need a presentation, you want to go back to the results, and then you're actually going to click on CMA. So right here, what we're going to practice is how to create a CMA presentation. So we're going to click on CMA. Now, if you look at the top, there are many different pages. Of course, we are right now in the beginnings of the CMA, but there's pages, subject, cover, comparables, map, there's pricing, and there's finish. So we're gonna first here in the start, if this is for a real client of yours, you're gonna go ahead and select the client, and then you can run the CMA in either English or Spanish, and then you can give it a description. All right, we're gonna go right into pages now. Now, guys, take a look at my screen. All right, I already have pre-selected pages. Of course, I teach this class. I also use Matrix for my own CMAs. So I have my own pre-selected pages. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of these pages. I want to show you how to build it from scratch. So I'm going to select them all, click on the little X, and now they're all gone. So all my available pages are on the left. I'm going to click on the plus sign so we can open all of them. We can expand each menu item. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my preference. Of course, you guys have your own preference, but the idea is to kind of show you how to build it. So I want the cover sheet with my photo, right? That's what with a photo means, is with age and photo. I'm going to skip right over subject and adjustments and go right into comparables. There's a reason behind that. I am not running any adjustments. All right, there's no need for me to run any adjustments. So we're going to skip right over that. Comparables, list price and sales price chart, professional report. The brief report, obviously, is something more simplified. If you want something more complex, something more professional, you go with the pro report. And then the pricing recommendation. I'm going to also include the CMA map, which is down here. And then these static pages are flyers, flyers that kind of supplement your report, helps you sell your presentation, right? I always use benefits of using a realtor. It's an explanation why they should hire us. But there's other things like setting the price, pitfalls of overpricing. So these are all flyers that you guys can use. Now, if you want to arrange the selected pages in a specific order, for example, CMA map, I would like to place it in between list price and sales price chart and CMA and professional report. So I highlight and then I press the up arrow and it puts it in its place. Okay. This is my predetermined CMA report. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and set it as a default. And like this, every time we run a CMA, it uses these pages. You don't have to select pages each and every time. Now, guys, if you want to import maybe a PDF file that you have sitting in your computer, you can always do that by clicking on upload custom pages. So if you want to add a specific report that you may have sitting in your computer, you can do that. Okay. The rest is pretty simple, guys, because we've already done it all, right? Subject. All right. What's our subject? Is it on the MLS? Yes, it is. So we can actually enter the MLS number, or we can come here and we can search for it. If it's not on the MLS, then we're forced to enter the property, details manually. So I think, no, I didn't copy the MLS number. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click on search for a cross property. It's one of these seven. I know that. So we're just gonna click on results, and it's the 320 Alessio right here. All right, see it? So fill from selected, and basically now I've got all my subject property ready to go. Cover page. All right, that's already done. If you guys haven't taken your matrix training yet, you'll learn to, upload your information and your photo and whatnot. Then comparables, we've already chosen that. These are our comps, right? Our map, this is where the comps are located in reference to the comparable or the subject property, sorry. And then lastly is pricing. Notice how adjustments is shaded. There's no need for us to make adjustments if we're looking at similar properties. What I mean by this is that if our subject property has 5 bedrooms and the only comps we could find are 3-bedroom subject properties, or sorry, comparables, then we have to make adjustments. All right, so that's not the case. Oh, I'm hearing an echo. Not good. All right. So here we have low, we have high, and we have an average. So based on these numbers, it's actually listed at a really good price, slightly under the average, right? 1,237,000. If you are going to present this to a possible seller, a potential seller, then you want to suggest your own list price. So you come over here to where it says suggest a list price, and let's go ahead and suggest 1,297,000. I don't know. All right. I'm just gonna go ahead and put something like that. All right. And that's my suggested list price. Lastly, guys, just go ahead and click on finish and then view your CMA report. Okay. This is your matrix CMA report. There are going to be others. We're going to be covering the RPR CMA report, which is an excellent report. We're also going to cover IMAP. All right. We're also going to teach you how to run a market conditions report, which is like an inventory analysis. All right. So right now we're looking at the comparative market analysis, which is your CMA, right? So here's our subject property. That's our first page. And here's our information down below. Here's our list price and sales price chart. Here's our CMA map. And then here is our information for each property we chose to be part of our CMA. All right, so here's the little chart showing the active properties in different colors. And here's another chart showing the closed sales in different colors as well. Lastly, we are going to see our pricing recommendation that says after analyzing your property and the comps on the market, your property is most likely to sell for what we recommended, which is 1,297,000. All right. Here's your benefits of using a realtor, a static flyer that never changes. Pretty much, again, is to supplement your report to help you sell the presentation. And then lastly, I did choose setting the price. So kind of like advice on setting prices. Any questions on what we just did? We did the 2 most commonly used CMA reports inside of the MLS matrix. Any questions on what we just did? All right. Inside of matrix, guys, under my matrix, under my CMAs, the CMA we just did is saved. It's there. So you'll see it right here. The one performed today at 10:25 in the morning. It's this one. I don't have a name for it. All right, but that's it. I can view it. I can edit the CMA. I can also delete the CMA. The CMAs will be saved inside of Matrix for a total of 180 days. All right, guys, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to show you the next step in evaluating the property. The next step is we're going to go ahead and run what's called a market conditions report. So go to more, go to market reports. Every single appraiser runs this style of report. So why not us? So we're going to go ahead and click on market share. Sorry, that's not what I wanted to click on. Market conditions, right? We're going to click on market conditions. And we're going to do an active and closed sale report. And for the closed sales, we're going to go back 365 days. So active, closed, 0 to 365 days. We are going to now select single family home, and then we're going to do the same thing. 1 mile, right? 1 mile from 328 Alessio Avenue. There it is. We're going to select it. Make sure in red it says map area selected. All right. And then lastly, we're going to make sure we stay in Coral Gables. All right. What we are going to do here is that we're going to decide the speed of the market. You know, is the market hot? Is it cold? Is it a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market? So we're going to click on generate report at the bottom left. And here is our market conditions report. You're going to see this as part of every single appraisal report that you guys read. So it goes over the entire year. The first column goes over the first 6 months dating back to October 2nd of last year. Right here, we have the prior 3 months, or the next 3 months in our report. And then right here, the last column is the current last 3 months until today's date. So the first line talks about the number of closings. So in a 3-month period, we did have 21 closings within 1 mile from the subject property. Currently, there are 30 active listings. So the numbers, 21 sales divided by 3 months is 7 sales per month. That is your absorption rate. Total sales divided by the months. So we're looking at 7 sales per month with 30 active listings. So how long is it going to take us to sell all 30 listings if we're selling 7 per month? That number's right here. It's going to take us 4.29 months. So 4.25 months to clean out this inventory. So we went from 2 months of inventory to almost 3 months of inventory to now just over 4 months of inventory. Guys, there's a trend, right? We went from a seller's market and we are now transitioning into a more balanced market in this area. All right. So 0 to 3 months is considered a seller's market. 4, 5, or 6 months is considered a balanced market. And then 7 or more months is considered a buyer's market. So right now we're kind of transitioning into a more balanced market in this area. Properties are selling at 88.25% of the original price. So what does that mean for your seller? That means that your seller is going to ask for a sales price, a list price, but they cannot expect to get a full price offer in today's market because the comps that are selling at about 12% reduced price of the listing price. That's what the median sales price over the median list price is. So this said, 100%, that most properties are selling at 100% of the asking price. If this says 103%, then you're looking at properties normally selling over the asking price. That's not the case, guys. We're at a reduced price here of 88.25% of the original price. Where were we just 3 months ago? We were closer to 100, right? We were at 96.3%, and before that we were at 97. So these 21 sales sold primarily below asking price. Okay, so knowing this, when you go talk to the seller or when you're helping a buyer determine what the fair market value is for the property is extremely important. Knowing how to read this, knowing the fact that we are transitioning into a more balanced market, that means sellers must relax their prices a little bit, and buyers could actually maybe offer lower than the asking price. If we were in an extreme seller's market, 1 or 2 months of inventory, then yeah, sellers are able to ask for however much they want, and buyers were going to have to pay for it. But that's not the case. The inventory went from 14 to 19 to now 30. All right, so we have more inventory. There's more There's more cars at the car dealership, or there's more TVs at Best Buy for us to choose from. All right. So let's go ahead and close these out, guys. That is your examples of your CMAs inside of Matrix. Now, I'm going to go ahead and run the same report for the same house inside of IMAP. So you can open up IMAP right here, right? You can open up IMAP right up here. Or if you go to the listing, let's show you. If you go to the listing, all right, there's the listing right there. This little button you see up here, that's IMAP. So I can actually click on it and it takes me right into IMAP. All right. So either you open IMAP and then you come over here to where it says property address and you enter the property address, or from inside of Matrix, you can click on the little eye icon right there and that's IMAP. All right. So once you are looking at the property, this is the public record. There's your folio number. There's your owners of the property. There's the phone number of the owners of the property. All right. And then here you have your tax value. So in 2023, the taxes on this house was $5,112. Okay. We don't know what 24 taxes are going to be. IMAP is giving it a current estimated value of $993,000. That's not a market value. That's just an estimated value. And then you have history on the property right here, and you have property characteristics down below. All right, so this is pretty much IMAP, guys. Get used to using this. It's an excellent program. On the right-hand side, you have find comparables. Can you guys all see it? Yes? All right, click on find comparables. Now, I have my comps, the criteria, already predetermined like this. I always like to search using a 20% difference in lot size and a 20% difference in living area. I always like to start my search using the same subdivision. You can do half mile, 1 mile, all the way to 5 miles. I have it set to same subdivision. And then I have my date range going back 6 months. And then you're going to hit update criteria. All right, you're going to hit update criteria. Using this criteria, I was able to find 3 comparables, right? I was able to find 3 comparables. And our average price based on price per square footage is actually very, very close to the subject property. It's $1,227,600. The lowest price based on the 3 comps comes out to $1,117,000. And the highest price based on the 3 comps comes out to just over $1,400,000, $1,444,000. Here are my comps. One property here sold at $1,150,000, another one at 1.3, and another one at $1,115,000. So none of these prices are actually what we're looking at here. What we're looking at is the dollar value per square foot. So $803 a square foot is your lowest price of $1,117,000. All right. $1,039 a square foot equals your highest price of $1,444,000. And then the average of all 3, which you'll find up here, let's take a look. Average, right, is where'd it go? I used to have here, oh, there it is, sorry. The average price per square foot of $900 gives you the $1,227,000. So guys, is this property fairly listed? Is that a fair amount to ask? So far, I'd say yes. The MLS told us so. IMAP is telling us so. All right, so there's not a huge price difference where we're going to have to, offer a whole lot less. So far, this is the price. Now let's take it one step further. I want to show you how to run this report using RPR. All right, so RPR, once again, is one of these programs that you see, and it's this one here. You can go ahead and click on it. Those of you that are brand new and you haven't yet registered with RPR, it's going to take you to their landing page and you're going to create your account. Everyone has an account with RPR. Once you have your account, you can actually go into RPR like this. This is RPR. This is Realtors Property Resource. I can always enter the address here, or I can go straight from Matrix by selecting the RPR logo that you guys see up here. So I'm going to go ahead and select the RPR logo. All right, so let's take a look at how to run a CMA report using RPR. All right, so we have here the property. It is listed at 1,237,000. Right below that, there is an estimated value called RVM. That's Realtor Valuation Model. It is not the comparative market analysis. It's more of an estimated value coming in at slightly under $1.2 million, 1,189,000. It has 5 stars when it comes to confidence. That means that it is a fairly reliable price. The range is anywhere from 1,115,000 to 1,230,000, right? With the average of 1,189,000. Many realtors go to RPR, they look at this price, and that's the price they go with as long as it has 5 stars. That's fine. I also like to do my own comps, all right? But if you guys want to use this price, you can always click on view details, and here it's going to show you the properties that were used to come up with that price, right? It's going to show you the properties. So this is RPR pretty much doing a quick analysis for you. I'm not going to use that one. We're going to come down here and we're going to click on CMA value. You guys see it here? All right, we're going to click on create a CMA. Follow me here. There are several steps. Step number 1, decide what style CMA are we running. We are all running a comparative analysis report, right? A CMA, comparative market analysis. There's also the sales comparison analysis, which is more for appraisers. As a matter of fact, if you click on that, it's going to ask you for an appraisal license number, right? An appraiser license number. We are not appraisers. All right, so we're going to not run that type of report. We're going to actually run the comparative analysis. So there are 5 steps. Step 1, confirming the facts of the home. Step 2, searching for comps. Step 3, making adjustments if necessary. Step 4, you're going to recommend a price for the home. And step 5 is actually creating the report. So let's go ahead and click on step 1. Step 1 is to confirm the facts of the home. This home is currently listed. All right, all we need to do is click on confirm facts and close. We do not need to make any changes. If we were looking at a home that's not listed and we were looking at the public records and the public record said it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, but you actually toured the home and it has 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, that's when you go to the right where it says your changes and you would write 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, right? If the public record says 1,390 square feet, but the property owner had it measured by a contractor or had an appraisal done and the home measures 1,500 square feet, then you go to living area square footage on the right and you would put in 1,500 square feet. But this property is listed, so we're not going to change anything. Just click on confirm facts and close. Step 2 is find comparables. So let's click on that. And we are currently looking at comps. We're going to look for comps that are active, pending, active under contract, and closed. All right. My default setting is to look back 3 months. We're going to go ahead and look back 6 months. And then we're going to put a minimum of 3 bedrooms, a minimum of 2 bathrooms. We selected here the living area. We're also going to select lot size. We need to make sure that we're selecting comps that are similar in living area, and they're also similar in lot size. We cannot select a comp that sits on 1 acre, right? Over 40,000 square feet when our home is 5,000 square feet. All right, it's just not going to be a good comparable. So make sure we select all of these and then come down here and hit search. Taking a look at the map, this is the subject property and these are the comps that showed up. Okay. Now, guys, you can draw a shape if you like to, or you can use geography. If I use geography, I can always start with micro neighborhood. All right, that's going to give me the most immediate neighborhood called Southeast Gables and Coral Gables. Right? In there are two comparables. We were able to find two. Right? We were able to find this one for 1,250,000. We were able to find this one for 1,775,000. If you guys want to stretch out that neighborhood a little bit more, then go here and do minor neighborhood. All right, there's nothing there. How about intermediate neighborhood? That's this entire area called Central Gables. All right, in there, all right, there are these comps. Or you guys can draw a shape. So let's take a look at the shape. I'm going to draw a radius because you can do a rectangular shape or a polygon. We're going to draw a radius. I'm going to stand on this black pin right here, which is the subject property, and we're going to stretch this out 1 mile. Remember? Right? We're going to do 1 mile. And then we're going to search in this area. So you see there are many ways for us to search for comps. All right? We have this property here. We have this property right here. Take a look at, guys, what's happening, okay? This one sold for $952 a square foot. That gives you 1,000,003. This one sold for $719 a square foot. That's going to drop your price to just under $1 million. This one, I am not even choosing that one. That one sold way lower at $475 a square foot. And this one sold for $590 a square foot. That's also going to drop your price. So these are my only two comps that I'm going to choose. And then right here, we have an active, actually it's pending, a pending listing at $874 a square foot. Choose that one. Here we have one at $1,086 a square foot. That may be a little too high. All right. And then you have several actives over here. Here's a pending for sale at $875 a square foot. So choose that one. Guys, where do you think we're going to be? $1 million to 1.3. All right. Remember the list price. Going to click on update valuation and close. We are exactly where RPR told us we should be at 1,188,000. So when I said at the beginning of the RPR, presentation that a lot of realtors, and I'm going to go ahead and click on property information real quick here, that a lot of realtors get to this point and they look at the RVM with 5 stars. They go right to this price and they say, you know what, that must be the right price because it's a computer generated CMA with 5 stars. Now, of course, I like to check my results. So I go ahead and I create my own CMA. All right. My own CMA also gave me 1,188,000. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on edit CMA. That's going to take me back over here. If you guys need to edit your results, go to edit. If you guys want to recommend a price, so this is where your opinion counts. You go to number 4. You don't make any adjustments. Right? We chose similar properties, all 3-bedroom, all 2-bathroom homes, all in the same area. We're going to go ahead and do number 4. We're going to click on edit. And now it says recommended price. So based on our opinion of the house, okay, what is the price of this home? So this is where we give our professional recommendation. So you know what? It's listed at 1,237,000. Let's say that our opinion is that this is at 1,225,000. 1,225,000. We are well within our range, right? 1 million up to 1,323,000. We're gonna click on save, and that is our recommendation. See how it says recommended price? That's our recommendation. All right, moving into the report. We're going to click on create a report, and it's going to take you right to the most important report you're going to create in RPR, and that is your seller's report. The seller's report can be up to 81 pages long, so you guys want to make sure you're not creating an 81-page report. So to do this, you want to click on the word seller's report here, and it's going to open up all of your report options. Notice my screen. Most of these options I have unchecked. I do not want an 80-page report. I, of course, have mastered how to use RPR, and I know exactly what elements of this report I want to remove, and I remove them. Once you guys remove them, then once you guys run the report, it actually saves as a default. So here's what I want you guys to do. All right. I want you guys to run a full report with everything. I want you to study the report and choose for yourself what you consider to be important and what you don't want to see in the report. So here's, for example, I am going to choose list price. Okay. I am, of course, going to choose my comps. I don't want to see much when it comes to the homeowner facts. Like I don't want to see the extended home facts and the AARP livability index. I don't want to see any refined values. I do want to see property photos. I don't want to see any of this here. I don't want to see market activity. I don't want to see charts and comparisons. I am going to include my comps. I am going to include the selected recent market activity map and the selected recent market activity grid. We are going to remove all market activity, active, pending, sold, distressed, and expired. That's just market activity. That's just adding to our report. We don't need that. We already have our comps. We are, of course, going to include the refined value calculation and the comp analysis calculation. We're going to remove the seller net sheets. We're going to remove about how we obtain the data through RPR. On the report for the subject property, I only want to see the main photo, or you want to see all the photos or 2 pages. Let's go with all photos. You know, you guys can change this as you go. Notice how I had it in main photo. Right now, I'm going to include all photos. And then for the market activity, I only want to see 8 properties or 4. We're going to go with 8 properties. And then for the actual report, there are 2 styles. One style is side by side, and then there is the home facts. I like them both. I want to see on the comps, I want to see them side by side, and then I want to see individual pages for each. So we're going to go with both. All right, we're going to come all the way down here. We're going to hit run report, and let's take a look at our report. It's going to be ready in a few minutes. Guys, take a look up here. There's an orange number 1. That means that there is a report in queue. RPR is going to alert me when this report is ready. Reports on RPR stay there for 30 days. After 30 days, when you go to the report bin over here, it's going to disappear. So you got 30 days to download your report, and this is where my reports are. All right. This is probably the most important CMA report you're going to run as a realtor if you need to go to a presentation. You know, you're going to present yourself, you're going to sell your services, your office, your experience, your marketing, everything, and then you're going to hand them the CMA report. When you go to a listing presentation, the last thing you talk about is pricing, right? You show them the market conditions, you show them the marketing you're going to do. Present yourself, sell our services. And then eventually start talking about pricing, and this is when you present them the seller's report. So as we wait for this one here, guys, that's your RPR report. I am going to show you how to run some condo comparables and some rental comparables. So this is taking a little too long. Let me see if I hit refresh, if my report is ready. Yes, it is. So I hit refresh. There it is, download report, and this is my CMA. It ended up being 14 pages long. All right, so 14 pages is definitely a lot less than 80 pages. Here's the cover page. Here's my photo. Here's my information. There is the list price, and there's my comp analysis. So this is, of course, my recommended price of 1,225,000. All right, these are the home facts, and these are the photos. This is the CMA map. And then these are your side-by-sides. All 3-bedroom, all 2-bathroom, all pretty similar in size. I mean, there's like a difference of 100 square feet between all the comps. Here's one property that sold at $1.4 million. This sold in only 51 days. Here's a property that is also sold, and it sold in 33 days at $1,075,000. Here's a property that is currently pending. It's been on the market now for 260 days, and it's pending at $1,250,000. Here's a property that is also pending at slightly under $1,300,000, and it's been on the market only for 53 days. Here's your market activity for zip code 33134, all the different properties that are on the market and sold. And then here is your recommended pricing strategy. So based on the median price and the median price alone, you're looking at 1,274,000. So the median is actually higher than the average, right? The average was 1,188,000, but the market is calling for a median of 1,274,000. You know what that means, guys? That means that our subject property needs a little bit of renovations to actually get into market value, right? To actually get into almost $1.3 million. Your average ended up being 1,188,000, and we gave a recommended price of 1,225,000. Know how to explain this to your clients. Know how to explain it to a seller. And then, of course, know how to explain it to a buyer. All right. If I gave a recommended price of 1,225,000, but the average is 1,188,000, then I must think the property is a little better than the average, right? But let's say I gave a recommended price of 1.1, like I took $88,000 off of that average price, then I must think that property needs a lot of renovating. So when you be careful when you recommend prices that you actually know, what's a fair recommendation. Otherwise, just ask your client, what's the offer price they're thinking, and if it's way too low, advise them it's way too low. Okay, and then your seller, ask your seller what price are they thinking about listing it based on the study. All right. Any questions on this report?
Yes, question.
Yes.
Would the RPR report be more seller orientated report?
I would say yes. If I'm working
Okay.
with buyers, I normally just give them the one from Matrix,
Oh, okay.
or even
All
the
right.
one from IMAP, which is something very I closed it already, but the one from IMAP. But this one is definitely a more seller friendly report.
All right. Thank you.
Like when you go to a seller and you meet with them, you have a consultation, you got to present them something. So this is what you want to present. All right.
Got it. Got it.
Awesome. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close that out, and let me go real quick here to Matrix, and let me show you. If we need to run comps for a condo, it's slightly different. You guys remember that we did active and we did close. All right, so we're doing the same thing. This time we're gonna choose condo. And for a condo, you don't do a half-mile or 1 mile radius. You actually want to stay in the building. So let's say that we're trying to study this building, 50 Biscayne Boulevard, right? I pretty much always go to either this one or another building. All right, so 50 Biscayne Boulevard. All right, let me spell it here. All right, so at this building, there are 26 matches right now. All right, and let's say that our comparable or our unit is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, right? So what are 2-bedroom, 2-bathrooms going for at 50 Biscayne? Let's click on results. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sort by sold price. So right now we know that the lowest was 655 and the highest was 945. Look at the square footages. 1,357, 1,357, and then 1,256 and 1,256. So let's say the unit you're trying to study is a unit that's 1,357. Then obviously sort by that and only choose the ones that were 1,357, like these right here. So for the 1,357, there are 2 sales and 1 active listing. Let's say the active listing is this one, right? Your buyer's interested in this one, unit 4808. Well, they're asking 975, and there was a sale for 945, which is pretty close to that list price. And then there's a sale way lower at $832,000. All right. Now the one for 945 is on the 52nd floor versus the 23rd floor, coming in at 832. But let's say you just want to include all of them, right? These are all 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, different views, right? You got line 01, line 11. You got line 6, line 8, line 4. So these are all different views. But let's say you just want an average price per square foot. Select them all, print, and go run that CMA 1-line summary report and 3-up comparison. Print to PDF. And here is your basic style CMA for a condo at 50 Biscayne. All right, here are all your active listings, and the active average price is 816. Here are your solds in the last 3 months, 6 months, sorry, the last 6 months. You had one property at 655, another one at 695, another one at 832, and another one at 945, with an average coming in at 781. All right, 191 days, 243 days, 90 days, and just 1 day in the market. Guys, 1 day in the market, don't kid yourself. They probably found the buyer before they listed the property. I don't know many sellers that will sell the property to the first person they show the property on the first day. So 1 day in the market is definitely not true. It can happen, but I mean, think about it. You just sold the property. You're just gonna list the property and accept the first offer that comes in on the first day. All right, so that is your CMA, right, for condos. It's very simple. All right, whether the condo is, in Brickell, downtown, Miami Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, wherever it is, just put the address of the property. Now, if it's a building, right, if it's a building that has very little units, like not many units at all, right? Let's say these are like condos in South Beach. Then of course you're gonna have to use the map, right? You're gonna have to use the map. You're gonna go to the map here, and let's say we're looking at 2 in south of Fifth Street, right? All of these. Then you're gonna have to draw. Draw here, and that's where I want my comps from. There are 77 comps there, and then of course you can look at the results. You can also come back to criteria and you can enter more stuff. So like the building itself needs to be built after the year 2000. All right, there are 52 matches. The building itself the building also needs to be waterfront, right? We do waterfront. So you're gonna go ahead and try and find comps that are similar, and you're gonna get them there. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to IMAP real quick. All right, we're gonna go to IMAP real quick. Here's IMAP. We're gonna click here. Guys, when you go to IMAP and it takes you to this version of IMAP, that's the older version. All right. There's a blue link at the top that says use the beta version. I highly recommend that we click on that because it is the nicer version. All right. It's got a lot of really nice tools. So click on the nice version there. Let's say we want to run a comp for 500 Brickell Avenue, apartment 3805. So 500 Brickell Avenue, apartment 3805. We're going to click on start search, and there it is. All right. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,124 square foot. All right. It's not listed. We're going to go ahead and try and find the value of the home because we're getting ready to list it. You go to find comparables on the right. Okay. And then we're gonna use the same subdivision always, guys. If I don't do that, then it's gonna go to other properties in and around Brickell. No, I wanna stay in the same subdivision. Watch this. If I go half mile and I hit update criteria, take a look. See that? That's 500 Brickell right there. We don't need all this activity going around. We need to stay in the building. So to stay in the building, you do this. You do same subdivision, you hit update criteria. Now we're looking at just these three properties right there at 500 Brickell. All right, so we have one sale at 770, the other one at 750, the other one at 730. Guys, if you are trying to sell unit 3805 at 500 Brickell Avenue, it's pretty plain and simple. And within the last 6 months, 730 is the lowest, 770 is the highest, and I'm pretty sure the average, actually the average is not 750. The average is 725. All right, because these units are slightly larger than ours. This is 1146, this is also 1146, and this is 1197. Ours ends up being 1124. So based on price per square footage, you're looking at 725. All right, folks, have a great day, everyone. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Robert.
No, absolutely. Thank you, guys.